Hello and welcome to Bangladesh Today. I'm Smita Prakash. In Bangladesh, people came out into the streets to celebrate the Supreme Court's judgment that awarded a death sentence to Abdul Qadir Mullah for beheading of a poet and raping a preteen and shooting 344 people during the Liberation War of 1971 and another mass killing. The court changed the earlier ruling of a war crimes tribunal of life imprisonment to a death sentence. Let's follow the event. The government appeal had been allowed unanimously, and on charge number 6, Mullah was awarded the sentence of death. The Additional Attorney General M.K. Rahman said that the death sentence has been awarded by a majority judgment.
In case of Qadir Mullah's case, 2 appeals were filed against the judgment and order of conviction on by the government asking for enhancement of sentence from life to death, another by the accused for setting aside the conviction. The government appeal has been allowed unanimously, and on charge number 6, he has been awarded sentence of death. And in other charges, the sentence, as has been given by the tribunal, has been maintained. And the sentence of death has been given by majority judgment.
The case witness freedom fighter Sahidul Islam was elated with the court's decision.
I strongly refused the first judgment, 5th of February, that was not impartial. We didn't found any justice. Justice delay, justice denied. But I am very happy from my heart and soul. Justice done. Nation happy. I am happy. Now I am waiting when Qadir Mullah will be hanged. And the day is knocking at the door. And my approach to our government, as soon as possible, Qadir Mullah have to be hanged.
Mullah was awarded the life imprisonment in February this year, a verdict which sparked off protests on the streets of Bangladesh. Many shocked that after all these years of waiting, when at last a trial is held and the person is found guilty of such heinous crimes, he is not given the ultimate punishment which already exists in the statute. Civil rights activists were enraged when Mullah emerged from the courtroom flashing a victory sign. Why did Mullah flash that victory sign, and what happened later is interesting. Mullah and others like him who are on trial for war crimes, which include mass murder and rapes, are hoping that if they get anything less than the death penalty, all they need to do is wait for the BNP government to come to power, which will commute their sentence and get them out of jails. There is past history of the BNP and the Jamaat that gives credence to this thought. They may even get politically rehabilitated, just like before. The pro-democracy and pro-war trials activists had had enough. It led to the birth of one of the most interesting Tahrir Square-like movements. But this was not seeking an overthrow of any dictatorship. This was in support of a brave government. Mullah's arrogance prompted online activists and bloggers to congregate at an intersection in Dhaka to launch a unique protest movement which came to be called the Shahbag movement. Bloggers and online activists had given birth to this historic movement where common citizens sought closure to old wounds. On their demand, the parliament passed a bill whereby prosecution and defense had equal right to appeal. This gave the prosecution the right to appeal that Mullah be given a harsher punishment than he was awarded. And this is what turned the tide against the Jamaat leader. Many international observers, foreign policy analysts and human rights activists were uncomfortable with the slogans raised and demands made at the Shahbag Square. On a superficial level, it seemed like the protesters were baying for blood, wanting death for the accused and not really focused on a fair trial and a punishment that the judge would deem right. Were they putting undue pressure on the judge by demanding nothing less than the death penalty? The world is divided on the death penalty. But the fact is that it exists in Bangladesh, and there is no elite liberal class in Bangladesh which has generated a debate on whether the death penalty should be banned. The Ganajagaran Manch, which was born out of the Shahbag movement, welcomed the decision of the Supreme Court, demanding that the sentence be carried out quickly. Why quickly? Because their fear, and indeed most of Bangladeshis, is that if the trial is not concluded soon, the guilty not punished soon, then elections could see the Jamaat-backed Khaleda Zia come to power. These men convicted of genocide and gang rape could be back in the political scheme of things then.
Today's verdict is a verdict of the people. This is what the people had demanded when on the 5th of February when we all gathered together in Shahbag. We were very disappointed that the verdict given in the February this year on the 5th about against Qadir Mullah, which was, we felt, an extremely weak verdict, has been overturned today, and he has got the highest verdict punishment that this government and the state can give. And I think this is for us a position and a point that we will ensure that the 1971 Liberation War is not, the spirit is not dead, and we shall overcome.
The War Crimes Tribunal, which was set up in 2010, was mandated to prosecute the guilty even though 10 out of 11 sentenced belong to the Jamaat-e-Islami, which is an ally of the opposition BNP. Not just that, a court recently declared that the Jamaat-e-Islami to be illegal under the secular constitution. The Jamaat-e-Islami and its supporters are enraged over the two verdicts of the death sentence on Mullah and its organization's deregistration. They say that in Mullah's case, the retrospective law change is politically motivated, that the Jamaat-e-Islami is being persecuted by Sheikh Hasina's Awami League government simply because the Jamaat-e-Islami supports the opposition BNP of Khalida Zia. But the Prime Minister is determined that the war trials will continue as promised to the people of Bangladesh. She will not budge on this. As soon as the verdict was announced, Jamaat activists went on a rampage, destroying public property, damaging vehicles, and clashing with the police. One person has already died in these violent protests. Schools and business establishments were shut, and security was tight, primarily in Dhaka, as protesters resorted to stone pelting and even lobbed crude bombs at the police. A nationwide strike was called by the Jamaat-e-Islami. The Jamaat-e-Islami, already infuriated after the High Court had struck down the Islamist party's electoral registration last month, now saw the Mullah verdict as fuel to fire.
They have been violent. It's not a new story. The politics they play, that is quite against the interests of people of Bangladesh. What they did in 1970 or during the Liberation War, of course they opposed the Liberation War, and they were not allowed to be actually acting as a political party or entity in this country. However, they were given that legitimacy, and therefore they have reappeared, re-emerged, and they have occupied a lot of ground. And what they have done over the past 42 years, nothing has gone actually in favor of the citizens of this country. What they did during the Liberation War, they committed crimes against humanity. We know what they did in the name of securing their interest, that the country should not be the former then Pakistan, should not be split. However, they went on rampage, killing the citizens, civilians, unarmed civilians. Then they committed violence against women. Millions of citizens and unarmed civilians were killed. Women were raped. People's properties were looted, and a lot of damage they committed. And most of all, they have not been really accepted. They have not accepted the sovereignty of this country. Even the name of Jamaat-e-Islam, that had to be changed because they wanted to take part in the election. Jamaat has not been serving the interests of the country, of the citizens of this country, and more importantly, they didn't like to recognize this nation of Bangladesh as a sovereign state. Therefore, all their political acts and deeds, they all go and went against the interests of the country and its citizens. And of course, we have to actually remember what they did during the Liberation War, and that brought this issue to the fore, that they should be actually banned. They don't believe in the principles of the constitutions, the four fundamental values, and one of them being secularism. and they stand against it, and therefore they can't actually do politics in this country.
An activist of the Bangladesh People's Resurgence platform, Ganajagaran Mancha, Sangeeta Imam, slammed the Jamaat-e-Islami, saying their very existence was based on violence and crime.
এবং যখন থেকে জামাতের জন্ম, তারা এই ভায়োলেন্স নিয়েই, এই ক্রাইম নিয়ে তারা জন্মেছে এবং তাদের রাজনীতিটাই হলো ক্রাইমের রাজনীতি, ভায়োলেন্সের রাজনীতি। সুতরাং তারা যে ভায়োলেন্স করবে তাতে তো কোনো সন্দেহ নাই। তাদের রাজনীতির ভিত্তিটাই হলো ক্রাইম, এবং সেজন্যই তারা এখন পর্যন্ত যখন তারা দেখছে তাদের নেতাদের বিচার হচ্ছে, যখন তাদের সংগঠন নিষিদ্ধ হওয়ার হুমকির মুখে, তখন তাদের দেয়ালে পিঠ থেকে গেছে এবং তখন তারা সেই পুরনো অস্ত্র, তাদের ক্রাইম, তাদের ভায়োলেন্সকে বেছে নিয়েছে এবং নানাভাবে জ্বালাও পোড়াও, মানুষ খুন, ধরে তুলে নিয়ে যাওয়া, এসব করে তারা তাদের সেই পুরনো চরিত্রটাকে ফিরিয়ে দিয়েছে আমাদের সামনে, এবং তারা ভাবছে এইভাবে করে তারা এই বিচারকে আটকাতে পারবে কিংবা বাঙালি জাতিকে দমাতে পারবে, পিছনে হাঁটাতে পারবে। কিন্তু বাঙালি এখন আসলে মানে এত বছর পরে হলেও যখন বিচার পাচ্ছে তখন এখান থেকে আর ফিরে যাবেন, তারা যতই তারা ধ্বংস চালাক। জামাত 1971 সাল থেকেই ধ্বংসলীলা চালিয়ে এসছে। তখন থেকেই তারা নারী নির্যাতন, মানুষ খুন, আগুন লাগানো, ধ্বংস করা, নানা রকম ব্রিজ, মানে বাংলাদেশের অর্থনীতিকে ধ্বংস করার জন্য যা কিছু করা, তা জামাত পাকিস্তানিদের দোসর হয়ে সে কাজগুলো করে এসেছে। রাজাকার আলবদর বাহিনীর মধ্যে জামাতই নেতৃত্ব দিয়েছে এবং জামাতই এই কাজগুলো করে এসেছে তখন থেকেই। তারা বাংলাদেশ হোক তারা সেটা চায় নাই।
Social activist Farhad Ali Khan added that the Jamaat-e-Islami was acting like a foreign element which was trying to destabilize Bangladesh and damage its integrity.
Islam is a religion of peace and brotherhood and respect for other human beings, but this party is doing, this Jamaat-e-Islami is conducting religious activities and political activities based on this religion, but they are not following in that way. So after the verdict, what they are doing is not unnatural from their side, since they have been doing this kind of activities since 1971, and they have been trying to undermine the existence of Bangladesh, and they don't believe in existence of Bangladesh. They are like foreign agent trying to destabilize the country and trying to make this country a extremist fundamentalist land. So it is not unexpected from them, but we hate this, we don't support this. Jamaat-Islami is an extremist party. This party does not believe the existence of Bangladesh. They are responsible, and they are responsible directly or indirectly for the killings of millions of people during our liberation war. Everybody knows around the world that 3 million people, more than 3 million people were killed, and millions of people became homeless. Hundreds of women were raped, thousands and millions of houses are burnt, looted. So this party were directly or indirectly involved with this kind of heinous crimes and genocides. In fact, Jamaat-Islam is a party which is doing their politics based on a religion, but Islam is a religion of peace and brotherhood, but they are doing extremist activities. The history of this party is very painful and very detrimental for this country. They were in favor of the genocides, and they supported and committed genocides against humanity and people in Bangladesh.
Bangladesh has not got the closure it wanted for the crimes committed against its people by Pakistani troops and their local collaborators in 1971. 300,000 people died and 200,000 women were raped during the conflict, a deep wound that needs healing. And the civil society will not bend to pressure tactics by fundamentalists to cover up the crimes. Bloody turmoils and military coups are part of Bangladesh's history. Today, the institutions are strong and are playing their respective roles in a vibrant democracy. The next few months are crucial for the Awami League government to hold free and fair elections and make sure that the war crimes trials are on track. Thank you for watching Bangladesh Today.